Your key players or players that look to have real potential are going to get a number put in front of them. And it's going to be easier to entice a kid who's in a tough situation, I think, to leave said situation. And so you end up, perhaps not wanting to pay a number like the Ashland Barker situation. I don't know if they got caught being surprised. Like a starting safety, what's happened, I talk about the changes in the game with the agents, but also the way that the numbers work. More and more people have a better understanding of what that looks like. So if you're a starting safety at the Power 4 level and you've been productive, you can expect to get, and then name your number. I think it's, between 175,000 to 250,000. And let's say that player is making somewhere in the neighborhood for you, $50,000. You've got to be prepared that this offseason, when the offseason starts, that's a number he's probably going to get floated his way. And you've got to get out in front of it and approach him. And, if you're buttoned up, if your ducks are in a row, and you recognize that there are key players that you seek to contain, to bring back, to retain, then you got to get out in front of it early. There are other kids that you can make that decision. Hey, it's too big a number. I'll give you an example. You hear whispers about this, but this is not an exact number. These are the whispers you hear out there. Everybody covering this team hears these things. You'll know about what Rawls is being offered to go somewhere else. You'll know what an Ashland Barker might be offered to go somewhere else. Or you'll know, for example, what an Earl Little might be offered or what he might be asking. Well, in some cases, and Tom, we've talked about this too, it's no skin off my back after you've watched a team go 5-7 and 2-10. If one of the players who's spent a lot of time on the football field for you, inconsistent at best, rolls through the door and tells you he wants $800,000, I got no problem for a program that is, looking to bring in a lot of people from the portal. They need help in mass. I got no problem telling that individual to take it on down the road. Good luck to you. I hope you get the $800,000. There are guys, lots of guys that are in this portal right now that I'm not hurt that we lost. There are guys that I know for a fact walked through that door and wanted 3 times what they were making, and they are not, in my estimation, worth that. Now, it doesn't really matter. I'm not besmirching them. I'm not begrudging them. If your agent comes to you and says, Tulane is willing to pay you, I'm just making it up, is willing to pay you $175,000 more than you're making at Florida State, and you walk through the door and say, hey, I'd like to stay here, but I'm going to need, whatever they're making plus $175,000 because that's the offer that he's got apparently out there from an agent and from a school, and you say, oh, no, we're not going to do that. So good day ahead by all.
Right. We can stare at each other for 10 more seconds.
Just nod our heads.
So you know that I'm real here?
Yeah. Best of luck to you, brother. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There are plenty of guys like that. Then there are guys that we all know, they could have been a solution. They could have been something that helped you move forward, and you didn't want to lose them.
The Barker one hurts. I'll tell you.
I like Barker a lot.
Juju, Wynn, and the Desirs are the critical 3 pieces to me.
And Deuce.
Yes, but not, oddly enough, not as critical.
I understand what you're saying because, again, we have the conversation all the time about line of scrimmage. Line of scrimmage, line of scrimmage, line of scrimmage. I'm with you on this, and I'm overpaying for all of those positions on the line of scrimmage. I'm overpaying for a defensive tackle. I'm overpaying for a rush-in if I can get them. If I have them, I'm overpaying to retain them. I got it. And, damn it, if I got a plus-level guard, tackle, center, I'm overpaying him too. But what Deuce is for you in this portal cycle is the carrot. If he says he's coming back and he wants to be here and he's excited to be at FSU, you've got a dude. And I mean a dude that players respect the hell out of.
Well, 100%. Look, do I want him? Yes. But I think in the example that you're pointing to,
you're spreading the million over 5 players instead of 1.
Well, and also if you're coming back and you know that Florida State is in trouble and you can really take him to task here in this situation, I don't know that spending, and in his case, you're not talking about $100,000. I'm sure it'd be
that's why I floated
$250,000, $500,000. No, I'm talking about like an extra.
Oh, yes.
The
Okay.
premium,
Yeah.
the suck tax would be, it's probably closer to $500,000 than 100,000 is
But
what I'd say.
the suck tax has been hurting us these last few days.
100% it is. Yes. And it's compounding as the moments go by.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is right now, if I'm a general manager or a decision maker in that place, I'm trying to win 18 games over the next 2 years. What puts me in the best position to win 18 games over the next 2 seasons? Is it giving an extra $300,000, $500,000 to keep Deuce in the fold? Is it taking the 1.5 that you'd save? And again, I'm making these numbers up. This is not inside information.
Conversation, sure.
Right. I'm sure he's making 7 figures, but yes, would it be better for that goal of winning 18 games over the next 2 seasons to take that $1.5 million and go find me somebody that's going to be here for 2 years that might help me in the trenches? That's the tough conversation I think that needs to be happening right now, which does inherently concede this year on a large level. It does, wins and losses wise. It doesn't mean that you're completely giving up, but I don't know that I'm bending over backwards to try to get from a 6th win to a 7th win if I can use that money to help me get 2 or 3 wins more next season, because I get a multi-year player who can help me at a position of need.
Well, you're hitting on the multi-year part of what I wanted to get to, because I think that's the other part of this. I mean, I don't know how much of a luxury Mike has in gauging what kind of player, if it's 6 and 1, half dozen the other. One's got 1 year, one's got 2 years. I'm taking the kid with 2 years, obviously, but I don't know Mike is in that position to say, well, I'll take fewer wins for the longer term gain.
Oh, that's for real. Yes.
I think he's stuck.
Is this a rebuild or not? I say yes. I don't think he can. And so therefore now we're just forcing ourselves to be stuck again, because now he's got to go all in with a bad set of cards, hoping against hope that he hits on some of these guys and they turn out to be wonders of the sport, where you go, how the hell did Florida State land that guy?
And this is where the jaded fan is right to be jaded, because he's going to say, as he hears this, fine, okay, yeah, you're gonna go all in. And what has he shown in the last couple of years that makes you trust that he's got this process as pinned down as he once did? Because he did. He was an early, aggressive, and turned out to be right, pursuer of talent in the portal. He did those things at a time when most schools were apprehensive, didn't know how it was going to affect a locker room, didn't know how it was going to affect the day-to-day operation when you're paying players and you're portaling over a player and all of that. Like, you can really build resentment very quickly was the thought, and I think in some cases it has. But he understood that the demands on him were now, and this was an opportunity that had never existed in college football before, and he made the most of it. Now everybody's in, and now really we know that this has changed everything from how players enter the portal and how this is arranged to with the agents and the contracts and all. This has all changed dramatically now, and again, he's whiffed with the guys that he's brought in the portal. That's the other part of it now. He had that track record of being very successful, but he's largely whiffed these last 2 portal efforts. I mean, and even when he's found somebody that you like, they've left too.
Yes, I agree, and I don't on that part. I think there was a whiff 2 years ago that is, yes.
Legendary.
It really is. This past year, I think you did enough to get the win total that you were setting out to get. But then, the whole coaching thing got in the way of being able to achieve at 7 or 8. So I think at different points, Mike the GM has hurt Mike the coach, or Mike the play caller has hurt Mike the head coach, or vice versa, right? I think this last year, they did enough. Of course, we aspire for something more than 8 wins. But I think they brought in enough talent. I think they did circle and find enough talent in the portal to achieve that goal. But then they looked like crap, and they looked unprepared, and they looked listless at different times. And then they also lost way too many of the 50-50s to put you in a situation where you only won 5 out of your 12 games. They got to be able to do it again, and in some ways better.
Yeah, the problem they have too, though, is that, again, I want to get back to the original point here. While you're doing this, you're not creating sustainable culture at all. And so it's I understand that's changed too for more than just FSU. But you see the byproduct. When you do that, because you don't have a bought into culture and a belief and a way of doing things from the bottom up, from kids that committed to you out of high school and saw it through to their redshirt junior year and then passed it on to that next wave of kid that came after him. Because you don't have that, if something goes awry, Katie bar the door, buddy. Not only do you lose a lot of games because their heart's not in it, there's no investment, there's no belief. As I said, no through line of culture of any kind. And then good luck at the end of the year because they do what they do now, which is, what do we got, 27, 28 guys in the portal?
Yeah. That's where you could make a compelling argument to say that you need Deuce to stay because everything's a one-year life cycle anyway, and that guy will make your room better. If you're trying to leave someplace better than you found it, Deuce would be an excellent guy to start with. There's no doubt there.
And you really, honestly, Tom, I think you're very fortunate that it's Deuce. If it was a player of equal talent that was not a legacy and was not the kid that he is, this wouldn't be a conversation.
Or a very good college football player with no NFL future.
Yeah.
But he's also got that kind of clout.
Oh, he's got all of that, right.
Because he'll be on big boards over next year, assuming he doesn't enter now, which I don't think he will. But he'll be on big boards next year. So that has extra clout to it, too.
Yeah. Yeah. I that's why I was pushing back a little bit where I understood your point. Spread it out, that money.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to catch a break because, and I don't know how much of a break, this is the old hometown discount when players are free agents in baseball type thing. Like, well,
maybe. I think it depends on the quarterback greatly.
Well, yes. If I'm the starting wide receiver and I'm the bell cow, I need to know that I'm going to have somebody who's a little bit more accurate and consistent than what I just had, because his numbers were awesome despite Thomas Castellanos' inaccuracies.
It was like Mike Evans' seasons with Glennon. Like, man, that guy went for 1,200.
Yeah, it's crazy. Chef Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
Law enforcement officers are investigating a deadly shooting in Quitman. The shooting happened around 9:27 p.m. Thursday near East Stevens Street and North Culpeper Street. Brooks County deputies were at the scene and also provided security at Brooks County Hospital, where several victims were taken for treatment. Deputies say one person did die. The shooting is being investigated by the Quitman Police Department and the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. Anyone with information is asked to call 229-263-9321 or 229-225-4090. A precautionary boil water notice has been lifted for members in the Lake Jackson area of Leon County. A bacteriological survey showed that the water is safe to drink and there is no contamination in the system. The organization said overgrown tree roots forced emergency repairs to the water system. Residents were encouraged to bring water to a boiling boil before using it for cooking or drinking. Members may have also experienced some discolored water because of shifting sediments in the water main. This is Rachel Lene with Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update. Brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 68. Northwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Lows around 35 tonight, partly cloudy. 52 tomorrow. Clear skies and dry Wednesday and Thursday, mid-50s. Wednesday, low 60s by Thursday. This report is brought to you by The Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 64.
Games for Less, Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used games, as well as new and used consoles like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Atari 2600, PS4, and PS5. You name it. Locally owned and operated since 1994, trade-ins are not only welcome, but Games for Less pays more for your trade-ins than the big chain stores. That's not all. Games for Less now buys and sells new and used vinyl records to boot. George loves the Beatles, by the way. Reserve all the new releases today at Games for Less, conveniently located in the Walmart Supercenter Plaza on Appalachian Parkway.
Hey, Jeff, what's up, buddy?
I was just thinking, I never tell you that when you grow up, one of the things that you'll miss are the games that you created with your friends in the neighborhood.
Oh, good days.
So I would have my buddy come over, and then we'd make up these games that were kind of like a hodgepodge of every game that you've ever played.
Kind of like the bikes we built.
Correct. Yes. And it's a grand experiment. In the beginning, nobody knows how to play the game, and you argue about what the rules are going to be. And in the end, everybody knows how to play the game. By the end of that summer, you know the rules, the neighborhood know the rules,
and you play that game like it's the greatest game ever played. But they still try to break the rules, right? Oh, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But at the end, Eddie, you're never going to play it again, and you'll think about it the rest of your life. And the best game you ever played was that game. Never been a better one. Hey, you want to have a Gordo Smash, Jeff? I do. I'd like that. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
I think for those wondering, we have figured out a workaround here for the video. So we're back up and running. I guess that is.
We told the video stream service that was holding the clipboard to put its helmet on and get on the field. And I think he has trotted on the field. We're going to run a play.
So let's hope this works out. We'll see. No sound? Yeah, no sound. We got sound. I guess we do. I don't know anymore. Oh, man. First show back from the break. This is what we're dealing with?
Well, the last segment ran just fine. It was just there was no video. So we did have a presence. And they felt our presence as they were watching.
It's funny. We've got to do Seminole headlines tonight before you do the smash. I was going to be very tired.
You're doing it tonight?
After this show ends, we're going to be doing headlines.
Really?
We have to.
Actually, that bails us out of a potentially disastrous tomorrow because with the video issues that we have, I'm like, oh, God. All right. I've got to be paranoid at 12:45 and get ready.
Well, we'll see what goes here. But we're going to attempt to do that. And listen, we got people traveling. It's all the schedule is, the whole thing, all the things.
It's the holidays. What do you want?
Yeah. You know what I want? I want to watch
an ice cold glass of Fire Rock Pale Ale.
Oh, well, I've got plenty of those in the fridge still. There was an awful lot of Fire Rock in that briefcase. Thank you, Spartanol. Man alive. Been pulling on a few of those, watching some football over the many days that we've been gone. I've needed to do that, especially watching the Bucks yesterday. Good God almighty, man. Yeeks.
Still got the shakes from watching that game.
I knew early on when Ewers baited our boy and threw over the top for a walk-in touchdown. I was like, oh, so we're still out here doing this. Okay, they don't care. Got it. Should be fun. And indeed. By the way, there's a weird world, by the way. You know this, if the Falcons were to beat the Rams tonight, then potentially we're out of our misery.
They need to win.
They have to win out. They have to win out.
Yeah.
They're not going to. And if they beat the Rams, that's the most NFL thing ever.
If they beat the Rams, I think that's the shrug emoji. Like, really?
You know what's funny? I want to say this to all the few that are in the chat because I did earlier this year bring this up. And I got to give them all the credit in the world. And it just shows you, I mean, this is the funnest. That league is so fun. If we're being honest right now, you don't want to play the New Orleans Saints, who have won 4 straight games with nothing to play for, and they may have found a starting quarterback. Like, that kid doesn't suck, and we're sitting here watching it, and I had them on the clock. So I give an apology to you fine folks in New Orleans, who I said before day one were on the clock. You may have your guy at quarterback, and you may have the coach. They play hard for him. They have bastardized any chance of a good draft choice, but hey, they've gone to war for that guy.
They have butchered that one. And now he's happy if they get those wins. I really thought when they walked it off a week ago, not yesterday, but a week ago, that he thought, I'm glad we did that with qualifications.
Yeah.
There are no qualifications anymore.
No.
You do not want to play the New Orleans Saints.
No, they might be the best team in the league. In the division. In the division. Yeah. It's funny you juxtapose the NFC divisions, right? Obviously, the East isn't any good. Philadelphia's 11-5, but the Cowboys are sub 500. Washington's 4-12, and the Giants are 3-13. But the North, Bears, Packers, good. Vikings, Detroit, not so much, although the Vikings just keep winning games. The South is so dreadful that here we sit, the Bucs, if they are to win next Sunday, they've lost 4 straight, and 7 of 8 would win the division and be 8-9 and host a playoff game. One that they'll get housed in against the Rams by 28 points. But nonetheless, there they were. There they are.
Reasonable playoff prices for Rams fans who wish to go.
The NFC West, when we started the year, you got to be kidding me. 13-3 Seattle. 13-3 Seattle, 12-4 San Francisco, and 11-4 Los Angeles, who will be 12-4 after tonight. Good God.
That's really hard to do.
I'll tell you something. If you're the Arizona Cardinals in that division and you went 3-13 and you're lamenting your lot in life, don't. You weren't going to win the division. You would have had to win 14 effing games in order to win the division. You were never going to do that. This is a good year for you to go 3-14.
That's like when you play in a game and you've got let's say a par 3 and there are strokes and the guy that gets the stroke makes a birdie. You're like, oh, so I had to ace it to win the hole.
To win the hole, right?
Okay, that's fine.
It's crazy.
Or an ace to tie.
It's I mean, give it up also while I'm out here issuing apologies or at least acknowledging some things being different than we thought. That's the NFL every year. If you're in the prediction game in the NFL, you're going to get a lot wrong. But kudos to you, Jacksonville Jaguars. We loved Liam in Tampa, but what he's done in Jacksonville overnight, winners of 7 straight, sitting atop the AFC South at 12-4, is truly special. Coaching still matters. Look at Chicago. Look at Jacksonville. Look at New England.
What Chicago did yesterday, I think, makes me believe in them more than half their wins.
Even in the loss?
Three-quarters. Yes, even in the loss. More than 3/4 of their wins this season. That performance last night. Okay, now, yes, you have to take those dudes really seriously. And I'm sure there are Bears fans like, duh, no, you guys were always qualified.
Well, they kept winning games.
It's like Indiana.
Well,
it's
they're
like
the cardiac Bears, the cardiac kids. They kept
Yeah.
winning games at the end. You're like, okay, what kind of freaky-deaky nonsense is going on here? I mean, it recovered on onside the week before. It doesn't happen.
But it's wide open. There are a lot of threats in both conferences. A lot of threats.
Well, and when you're sitting out here talking about 2 weeks ago, we were having the conversation about Coach of the Year. Like, I'm inclined to give it to Cohen, Jacksonville, but I can see many arguments for many others, and that includes San Francisco, that includes Seattle, that includes New England. I mean, you got guys at all of those places. Houston was 3-5, down 29-10 in the fourth quarter against Jacksonville, and came back and won, and now can't seem to lose.
And it didn't kill Jacksonville. It kind of elevated both of those teams.
All that's happened is Houston's won 8 straight and Jacksonville's won 7 straight. That never happens with games like that.
So I guess that means both teams haven't lost since that.
It's unbelievable what's happened there. Man, it's impressive. And listen, I know every week it's a freaking 7-point game, 3-point game, and it's hard to take them seriously, but they keep winning those games, and that's the Denver Broncos are 13-3. They're 13-3. They're the most annoying 13-3 because you're like, I'm not buying it. It's the NFL. You win 13 games, you're good, period.
Bo has made enough throws where you go, well, if he's going to do that, then you're forced to buy them. You have to.
Yeah. Yeah, it's by the way, how costly was that Steelers loss all of a sudden? What are you doing out here losing to Cleveland?
That's what you get for forcing me to praise Mike Tomlin. Is they go turn around and lose to Cleveland.
That's brutal.
They gave up 10 points the first 2 drives and then basically bupkis after, and they still couldn't win.
And with the Ravens winning, you're like, uh-oh, we got issues. Oh, it is wide open and it is fun. Hour number 4 covered. We'd stay with Jeff Cameron, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Comes iOS source promises protect
managed IT support, cloud storage solutions, over IP phone systems, expert tech counseling, and more. Your business is growing fast or just getting started. IOWise keeps your systems running smoothly and securely. Local service, big solutions. Visit iowise.com today and work wiser with IOWise.
Don't risk falling off that ladder. Let the pros handle it at Gutter Solutions of Tallahassee. If there's one thing your home desperately wants on its Christmas wish list this year, it's healthy, protected gutters. Because nothing spoils holiday cheer like overflowing gutters, roof leaks, or water damage right before the new year. And with more winter rain on the way, now's the perfect time to make sure your home is ready. Call Gutter Solutions of Tallahassee. We provide seamless gutter installation, expert repairs, professional cleaning, and premium gutter guards, all designed to keep your home protected so you can enjoy the season stress-free. No ladders, no mess, no mid-holiday emergencies. Plus, the year-end is the best time to schedule service. Avoid the spring rush, protect your home before the rainy season returns, and start the new year off with one less thing to worry about. Give your home the gift that lasts. Reliable gutters from a trusted local team. Gutter Solutions of Tallahassee. With us, it's personal.
You probably already know that Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas is your one-stop destination for all pool maintenance needs, offering everything you need from chemicals, cleaners, vacuums, nets, and more. But that's not all. Pinch a Penny also carries a huge selection of premium hot springs hot tubs paired with easy financing options, making these luxury hot tubs affordable for everyone. And if you have an older hot tub and you're worried about the hassle of removing it, worry no more. Pinch a Penny will not only remove and haul away your old hot tub, but also offer a trade-in value for a credit towards your new one. So why wait? Visit Pinch a Penny's 12,000 square foot showroom today on Greer Road and discover how effortless and affordable owning a fantastic hot tub can be. Find out more at TallahasseeHotSpring.com. That's TallahasseeHotSpring.com.
Pay-per-view fights can ring up big bills, especially since in the Octagon, there is one every few weeks. That's why the Seventh Hill Tap Room right downstairs from Corner Pocket Bar and Grill carries every single fight. Plus, unlike most pay-per-view bars, there's no cover charge. And drink specials, too, like $3 select domestic beers and more. And if you enjoy international soccer, Seventh Hill opens early. $2 mimosas on Sundays, anyone? The Seventh Hill Tap Room, 2475 Appalachia Parkway, just downstairs from Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT. Greta, Tallahassee. Your Sports Flash update on Real Talk 93.3 in Tallahassee.
Our sports year in review takes us back to January 20th.
Here's the last snap, barring a penalty. Leonard rolls to his right, throws across the middle, caught by Greathouse, down at the 40-yard line. Ohio State has won the national championship.
The call from ESPN Radio as Ohio State wins the national title, defeating Notre Dame 34-23 for the Buckeyes. It is their sixth national title overall and their first in a decade. Kansas State transfer quarterback Will Howard threw for 231 yards and 2 scores. Ohio State was seeded 8th in last year's college football playoff, but the worst seed won every game in the quarterfinal and semifinal as the Buckeyes dominate the title game. This Sports Flash is presented by Progressive. Bundle auto and home, renters, or condo insurance and save with Progressive. I'm Matt Pauley on Real Talk 93.3.
Guys, thanks for helping me carry my Christmas tree.
Zoe, this thing weighs a ton.
Drewski, live with your legs, man.
Santa! Did you get my letter?
He's talking to you, Bridges.
I'm not, sir.
Of course he did. Right, Santa?
You know, my elf Drewski here, he handles the nice list.
And elf, I'm 6'3". What everyone wants is iPhone 17. And at T-Mobile, you can get it on them. That center stage front camera is amazing for group selfies. Right, Mrs. Claus?
I'm Mrs. Claus's much younger sister. And at T-Mobile, there's no trade-in needed when you switch. So you can keep your old phone.
Or give it as a gift.
And the best part, you can make the switch to T-Mobile from your phone in just 15 minutes.
Guys, my side of the trade sure you're slipping.
Timber!
The holidays are better at T-Mobile. Switch in just 15 minutes and get iPhone 17 on us with no trade-in needed. With 24 monthly bill credits for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off earlier. Cancel finance agreement. 256 gigs, $830. Eligible port in a new line. $100 plus a month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees required. Check out in 15 minutes or less per line. Visit T-Mobile.com.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, T-SparkConstruction.com. We conquer all peaks. We fix those darn leaks. Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, T-SparkConstruction.com.
License number CCC 1331204.
Looking to upgrade your backyard, your business, or even your life? Then you've got to check out Southeast Portable Buildings right here in Tallahassee.
That's right. Southeast Portable Buildings has everything. Sheds, cabins, carports, and now beautiful decks to go with them.
Imagine a brand new storage building and a deck out front. Perfect for that morning coffee or for your family gatherings.
Need something custom? No problem. They'll work with you to find exactly what fits your needs. Big or small, simple or stylish.
And with easy financing options, you can make your dream space happen sooner than you think.
Southeast Portable Buildings, where you're not just getting a building, you're getting a lifestyle upgrade. Give our friends a call today, 850-580-6400. That's 850-580-6400.
Southeast Portable Buildings.
Big buildings.
Big decks.
Big dreams.
Southeast Portable Buildings on West Tennessee Street, just north of Capitol Circle in Tallahassee.
Love to compete on the dartboard? Then it's time to head to the CP. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill is Tallahassee's premier dart bar, featuring steel tip boards and soft tip internet play. The Corner Pocket hosts leagues and tournaments regularly. Just check out their social media to find a time that works for you. And in between games, grab a pint and a bite in the cool AC, or enjoy yourself outside on the deck. Whether you want to catch a game or start one of your own, the place to be is the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Some audio issues, some video issues actually last hour. I think we've got that remedied. So if you're out there, hello, hope you're well. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Always supporting local. Tallahassee's only locally owned and operated radio station is 93.3 FM, and that's where we're at right now. So good day to you, sirs. Irash Fell to join us later this hour. Georgia Southern, App State. For those that are starved for college football, starts right now. Of course, that is at the famed Protective Stadium in Birmingham, Alabama. Protective Stadium. AccuWeather says it's 43 degrees, Tom, there in Birmingham. It's going to be nice when we walk out of this here studio, buddy. It went from 70-something to just dropping rapidly. We got a little 26 tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah, it's going to be challenging tomorrow in a good way. Refreshing.
Take it in. Feel refreshed. Walk outside, get that cool air in you.
If you want to walk outside, go to a park maybe for a walk in this type of weather, it is that nylon season.
It's
you hear people walking in their sweats.
Glorious. Yeah, we're down to the nitty-gritty with the bowls, and then obviously we've got college football playoff Wednesday as Little Ohio State, Miami. How concerned are each one of you that Miami is going to beat Ohio State? Probably more than you were. And you know why? It's not the quarterback. It's not the $2 million or the $3 million or the $4 million or whatever it was to bring in Carson Beck. It's the offensive and defensive lines. It's Miami's offensive line, 2 elite tackles. It's Miami's defensive line, 2 upper crust defensive ends. And it's something that I'm envious of. And it pisses me off to have to watch that and be that kind of envious. Yeah, it's also weird to have to really kind of, let's not kid ourselves, root for Ohio State. I know it bothers you, buddy.
Oh, no.
But I promise you, Wednesday, AT&T Stadium in Arlington.
I will dot that I.
Cotton Bowl. You are going to be out there high-stepping as you dot that I, buddy.
And you know what?
High-stepping.
I'm going to be real honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my fear, is that Ohio State fails, so I hate them all the more. That's my fear. This is the one time I'm asking you, Ohio State, to get something done. You best not fail.
Well,
because then if you do, I already don't like you at all.
Well, we got a problem if they fail.
We're going to go to a special place.
We got a problem. We got a problem if they fail. Because there's not another game that Miami would have to play that you wouldn't go, yeah, they can beat Texas Tech. They can beat Alabama. They can beat Indiana. They can beat Ole Miss. Georgia, they can do it. Like, it wouldn't, buddy.
You know, the point of the holidays is to feel happiness, to let go of those anxieties, especially after Christmas, in case you needed to travel here, there, and everywhere. And I'm not liking what you're dealing with right now.
You don't like what I'm putting down, but I'm letting you know right now that's a problem if they beat Ohio State. You're not going to sit there and think like, okay, if they had to play Oregon, if they had to play Indiana, if they had to play Georgia, you think, oh, well, this is not good. This is not good. And you think it on a lot of levels, because on the one hand, you know, that's not the desired result. It's an understatement. On the other hand, you're like, we couldn't sniff these games. We couldn't dream of playing these games right now.
It would, however, be one hell of an argument for the competitive balance in the ACC.
They couldn't even win the league.
Couldn't even play in the game.
Didn't even make the championship game of the mighty ACC.
How deep, in retrospect, was the ACC?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm sure that's the conversation starter. Golly. Yeah, no. You may hate Ohio State. You'll don a red. You'll have silver britches on come Wednesday. Silver and red, buddy. You'll be walking around here with the...
So, you know, Jack Nicklaus went there.
You're going to have your silver britches on come Wednesday. You even own any?
I will, for a day.
Get you the Buckeye cap. Throw that baby on.
For a day, you could call me Maurice Claret.
I'm Katzenmoyer.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Come on, let's go. Well, they've got a lot to choose from, Tom, unfortunately. They got a lot to choose from. Pick your favorite Ohio State player ever.
I'm trying to think.
Well,
my favorite Ohio State player? That's like saying, as a kid, your favorite vegetable. No, thank you.
I always had a favorite vegetable.
As a kid?
Spinach. Loved it from the first time I ever had it.
I like broccoli. Called them trees. I'm sure I was one of millions who did, but we called them trees in my house.
Love broccoli. Love spinach. You know, I mean, like most kids
Cucumbers?
No.
Celery?
No. You know better than that. But yeah, man, I'm all in. I'll be this Wednesday ready to go. Let's go Buckeyes. I'll find out what their cheers are and everything.
Well, my favorite is Brutus. That's easy. That's the easiest one.
Yeah, man.
I'll be sure to check out bucknuts.com.
Bucknuts.com is my favorite of these websites.
I don't know if that's on our network or not.
I just love that it might not be.
But what a name. What a name. I mean, when that person filed for that URL and said, come on, please be available.
That's so great, isn't it?
Bucknuts.com.
Well, it's like when we came up with Buck and Aikman.
That's right. Hey, so locally, have you seen the commercial for the rodeo? They're doing the rodeo at Doak. It's on locally in Tallahassee.
I don't believe I've seen the commercial.
So they got the PBR and the country acts. If you're watching something nationally, you'll see during the local commercial breaks it comes on. They say the word like a Bronco, B-U-C-K.
Buck and Bronco.
The way they say it in the ad, every time my head snaps, I go, what in the... Yes, you will now notice
bold advertising.
These guys are just throwing down.
Getting after it. Yeah, go see the Buck and Broncos.
It makes something like that.
Nervous. Makes you a little nervous.
Just go, oh.
I know that, and I knew that eventually we were going to get word on the hiring of the new GM at Florida State. And it's funny because I just haven't, the way this played out and the problems that persist within the organization, I'm being honest with my audience. I don't care because I don't think it affects this particular portal that much. This go around. I mean, it has an impact, but I don't think it has a big impact. And so I'm more concerned about what's happening January 2nd and what we can do to get back to, having winning seasons. And so I think people expected I was going to go nuts over this sort of thing. I don't. I have my opinion of what's taken place here and how little of a plan they had and all of that. But I don't. He may succeed. He might not succeed. We'll see if these front office changes work out for Florida State. But they're long-term discussions. They're not short-term discussions. So I really haven't even concerned myself with it. All I've thought about is, what can we stop losing good players? And can we go get some others?
The one thing I'll say in this scenario, you would normally laugh in any other era of college football, what I'm about to say. But because Duke clearly spends on the NIL front in football.
But especially in basketball?
Well, because of the circumference fund.
The circumference fund that we documented on the Jeff Cameron show, yes.
Girth Capital?
Yes.
Because they dump a lot of money like they did on Mensa, and Mensa's coming back. I don't think that was cheap. Perhaps you walk down to Tallahassee with a few names that you've got a lead on in terms of scouting, in terms of personal relationships, because if Garrett brings a few guys from Duke and that operation down to Tallahassee, you might be able to get a player, 2 or 3 that you would not otherwise have gotten without that acquisition. Am I saying it's a game changer? No. Am I saying that it's worthless to the 2026 cycle? I'm not sure. And in most cases, hiring somebody from Duke would be something you would just absolutely laugh out of the room. But in this day and age, maybe there are a couple of kids that can help you.
Did you not think when you heard that name, first of all, he'd been here before. We knew him.
I talked to him a lot at practice.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. Did you not think immediately that, okay, so we're about to hire Manny Diaz after they fire Mike?
Oh, I didn't think that at all.
Oh, that's one of the first things I thought.
I'm thankful that I didn't think that, because then I would have gotten a little tinge of hope.
The very first thing I thought was like, and I don't mean like now. I mean after this year's over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just brought up the whole
Honestly,
operation.
No.
Yeah, that's the first thing I
just thought
about.
John Garrett, Jason Garrett, Cowboys, Alford. Okay, we're doing that again. But
well, sure, I thought of that too. I get all that, but no, I kind of thought to myself, maybe you just furthered the process and moved it on down the road to bring Manny back to his alma mater.
This is the key thing: is what is his mandate? I did the video with Ira on Saturday morning, and Ira talked about how he's going to answer to Alford. That's a huge deal.
Yeah, he answers to Alford.
You're brought in, you're empowered to work with Mike, but not for Mike. That's a big deal that they're following through in that regard, which tells me also that the mandate for his job is not to look at this as a one-year process, which I also think is important. And to your point,
it can't be.
It couldn't be. But I don't trust us sometimes to even nail those little details.
I still don't.
And I'm glad that they've at least laid the groundwork that he's looking at this from the way that a GM should look at it.
Well,
as a 3-year puzzle, not a 1-year puzzle.
Yeah, how foolhardy would it be to bring a guy in at this late date, December 28th?
Just to try to maximize the 26 roster.
What are we doing? You wouldn't do that.
I'm just saying, yes, where we agree is I think our baseline level of faith in the operation is not very high.
No.
So I was glad to hear that this happened this way, because also some of the whispers as this process was going on was that, Mike is helping conduct a lot of these interviews. I'm saying, why, other than just to compare notes on football? Like, I was worried that if Mike, and by Mike I mean Norvell.
Norvell.
Yes. if Norvell's in on those meetings, I was thinking to myself, oh my God, they are not seriously going to bring in a Derek Ray replacement, right? They're going to bring in somebody who's got some teeth, and they did. So I'm glad about that.
Yeah, and again, I don't care. Like, they can say whatever they want to say, and they can use semantics to say it. And I think they did. That's fine. I don't care. I think you said in the video, I watched it later, I think you said at the end there, I don't care if that's their first choice or their fifth choice or their ninth choice. It just needs to be the right choice. I agree. I mean, I think it's kind of silly to jump through the hoops, but okay, fine. He has to work with Norvell.
With him. That is a huge distinction.
Yeah, he has to work with him.
I was worried for a little while there.
He has to work with him.
I was worried that he was going to work for Norvell, and to which I'd say, what was the point of this entire endeavor?
I still wonder
you could
how
still ask that question.
I still would ask how that's going to work.
Yeah. Oh, and that's, I think, a totally legitimate thing to monitor as this goes on.
Yeah.
But I'm glad he's not walking in the door having to answer to Mike Norvell. That's good. There's a big difference between having to get his approval,
without question,
versus having to work with him to reach consensus.
Well, I think
totally different things.
I think as we move forward in the college game, and we'll see if this is even, because it's not one-to-one NFL college that the front offices are going to be the same. The sport's not the same. The structure's not the same. The money situation's not the same. The roster building is not the same. Allocation's not the same. All these things are not the same. But I am curious just to see if this becomes a thing everywhere. Is this just where college football is going to end up going? And how frequently will it be that a GM, because at some point this will happen because it happens now in the NFL, is how often do we see these kinds of the kind of friction that you see in NFL situation in which the GM tells a coach, well, we're going to go with the receiver. And then the coach goes, yeah, but no, I want the left tackle, and we need a left tackle, and I'm the head coach, and I don't want the receiver. And the GM goes, well, we're drafting the receiver. And you have a job, and it's not personnel. So stand down on this one. Be mad if you want to be mad. Call me an MFer. If you want to call me MFer, that's fine. But at the end of the day, I'm telling you what we're doing. Like, I want to see how that plays out in the college game. That'll be interesting.
I couldn't agree more. And salaries for these coaches versus GMs are going to be very different.
Very different. When a guy's making $10 million a year and another guy's making $1 million.
But you know what? The athletic director never makes what a head coach makes in the sport.
In many places, the coach is much more powerful than the athletic director. He just is.
What matters often in the NFL world, when it comes to GM and coach relationship, is their time of arrival relative to each other.
Yes, indeed.
Do they walk in the door together
Correct.
to start
They're tied
anew?
at the hip or not? Yeah.
Did the GM just get hired while there's an existing coach? Because even in an NFL situation, you say, well, that's not his guy. So first sign of trouble, he's out.
You got real problems at that point.
I'm sure John Garrett asked the question. I don't know what the answer was or if he was told a truthful answer, but do I have the power to recommend his firing at the end of this year? And if I do, will you? I would be one of the first questions I ask if I'm going to be named the GM who answers to the athletic director. Do I have hiring and firing power?
No, I don't think he does. I think he can recommend all he wants to recommend. I don't think he has firing power. I think he can walk into Alfred's office and say, I think we need to make a change. But he didn't have the power to make that change.
The NFL, he does. So that's another thing that you're going to have to vet here in college.
That's what I'm saying. I want to see how all of this plays out. Yeah, like to what degree? What are the powers of the new found GM in the college football world in that front office? Because, I mean, I dare say the very first thing I'd do is fire him.
My guess is he took that job knowing that that's not possible at this juncture.
I'm just saying that'd be the first thing I'd do. All right, let's get started. Mike, you're no longer needed. Okay, so
here's the other thing for this position. Oh, no. Is the optics of, does he stand on the sideline? Is he in the skybox? Is he in the press box? Is he
John Lynch with the 49ers looking down?
Right. Or is he standing in the end zone corner, which is not on the sideline? Coach has his territory, but his arms are crossed. He's in a suit and he's watching everything. I mean, this is now part of the optics of the position as well. You have to appear and be present to present strength.
It's gonna be
And that's not just a Florida State thing.
Yeah, but this is what I mean about, like, this is you can't make a sweeping judgment about that hire right now. You can't say, like, I know this isn't going to work or I know this is going to work. We don't know. We have no idea. I know what I think should have happened already. It didn't. I know that I think they're hamstrung until it does. I think they got real issues to try to overcome because of the nature of his position, meaning the head coach's position and the way I think he's viewed by agents and by coaches and I think that's a lot to overcome.
To me, what this hire suggests, looking the other direction, not the head coaching direction, is that Alford's safe for some time. This feels like a very Mike Alford hire, just because of the natural ties.
Yeah, I guess.
To a common place, which is back in Dallas. And I know that Garrett obviously doesn't still coach for the Cowboys, but I mean.
I would say this. I don't think any athletic director, Mike Alford or anybody else, is safe when their principal moneymaker is losing. So you can make this hire and think that it can act as a buffer, and you can talk about this being a long-term solution, not a short-term solution, and that it's going to take 2 to 3 years for this to play out in a way that gives us a rendering. Perhaps we've just had back-to-back losing seasons. We've been at the bottom of the ACC, not like near the bottom of a sorry conference.
Okay,
how about that professional catch?
Had the holiday e-break.
So you go ahead and have another losing season and see how safe Alford feels. I don't think any athletic director. That's not like a threat. That's the nature of the beast. That's the reality of your situation. We are leveraged to the hilt. We've spent money out the wazoo, and we can't win football games.
So the question to me at that point would be, from Garrett's perspective,
do you think he's safe? I think he's safe for the foreseeable future.
So you think that he could be a principal architect in what comes next, or at least a counting voice
You didn't
in the
hire
room.
him to be a one-year guy, I don't believe. I don't believe anybody would have taken that gig.
So he becomes an incredibly important figure in the health of this program for the next 3 to 5 years. That's what just happened over the weekend. That's big, one way or the other.
Yeah, we're going to have to further vet more and more about those responsibilities, very distinctly what they are. What that looks like, I'm very curious. Chef Cameron Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Hey, everybody, it's Ed Dean along with Roger Henderson, also with FloridaDaily.com. Just want to remind you, daily 4 to 6 in the afternoons right here in Tallahassee on Real Talk 93.3 FM. Roger, it is literally the two.
It's be part of your story.
Hey, this is for my homeowner friends out there. You know who you are. When you get your grass cut, you're going to inspect the work, make sure it's good. Get your house painted, check around every corner and edge, make sure that's done right. Get a new roof, going to get eyes on those shimmering new shingles. Get your septic tank cleaned. Bet you're not popping your head down in there to take a look around. You got to trust it's done right. I'll make it easy. Go see my friend, Greg Miller Septic. They're my guys. I trust them, and you can too. MillerSeptic.com. That's it. That's the commercial. That's the whole thing. Check them out. That's MillerSeptic.com.
I'm Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage. And today, I want to talk straight with you about debt, especially high interest rate credit cards, and why you shouldn't just sit there and hope the situation will fix itself. Nationwide, the average credit card interest rate is hovering around 21% or higher. The total revolving credit card debt in the U.S. is over $1 trillion and rising. If you're carrying a credit card balance, you're likely paying hundreds of dollars each month just in interest, without even touching your principal. But here's the good news. You can act. What I help folks do is refinance their home or use a home loan strategy to consolidate high interest debt into something with a much lower interest rate and one payment. It puts you in control. So if you own a home or you're buying one, let's talk about turning your house into a tool so you can stop the credit card interest trap and you can stop feeling like you're paying lots without making progress. Go to loansforknowles.com. That's loansforknowles.com, and let's get you on a smarter financial path and get out of the high interest grind.
Florida man, what in the jingle bells happened to you this time?
So I'm at the mall with my emotional support alligator, Hank, and he decides he wants to tell Santa what he wants for Christmas. And he's been real good this year. He saved Thanksgiving. He only bit 2 people. So Hank is sliding up on Santa's lap, and he starts to whisper about this Skeeter 21-foot FXR Apex bass boat that he wants with the Minn Kota spot lock, the 250 horsepower Yamaha motor, and the thing on the dash that shows you where the fish is. And Santa starts tearing up. He said it was the most beautiful Christmas gift he'd ever heard of.
So, how'd you end up with a black eye?
Well, I may have complimented Mrs. Claus on her holiday cookies. Next thing you know, she whirls around and decked me like the Hall.
Whether it's mall mishaps, ladder falls, or gator-related gift shopping, Fenn Chiropractic is here to get your holiday spine straightened out. Unwrap relief this Christmas at Fenn Chiropractic. Visit fennchiro.com. That's FENNCHIRO.com.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between, Warchant.com remains your home for the best FSU football coverage in the business. Brutally honest columns and features, market-leading multimedia presence across video and podcast, the largest FSU fan community with a staff that combines for over 100 years of experience covering the Noles. When change comes, Warchant.com is your home for analysis from every angle. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Sign up today.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Jeff Cameron Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. Good buddy. Thanks for being here. Thanks for putting up with some videos / audio / issues. It's all Tom's fault. I kid. Do we have Ira? Are we
that
good?
Successfully worked.
That worked? The phone system's all right?
I don't have the picture of him from...
The Gremlins didn't get us?
I don't have the picture of him from yesterday, though.
I love that picture, though. You got it. That's my favorite part. Well, actually, the content's my favorite part, but that looking at that as Ira's speaking to me makes me feel better.
I know. I'll try something here.
Can you put up a picture while Ira and I are talking of, like, I don't know, dolphins?
I can. Sure, I'll find something.
Just something, or like, how about monkeys chasing each other, or something fun like that? It's something good. Irash Fell, Warchant.com joins us as he always does on Monday. How are you, brother?
I'm good, Jeff. How are you?
I'm well. I am well. So the first thing I wanted to know after you broke the story on Mr. Garrett coming here was, and I want to know if we're about to be surprised. I understand there are reports out there that the money's too good for him to leave, but when are we announcing that Darian Mensah is in fact coming from Duke to join Florida State?
Yeah, I'm sure that's coming any minute.
Well, damn it, that's what I had you on for, Ira. I was ready for you to break it right here and now.
You know, man, I wish I could give you the news you want on demand. I can't do that. But no, that would be something. That would be great. But no, I don't think that's part of the plan.
Yeah, because the hard part is that while we joke about it, I know you wrote about it, they did have 11 players on the All-ACC team there. They did win the conference. So he is coming from the ACC's best program. I just figured maybe he could steal some of those players and bring them to a program that was once clearly the dominant program of the league, but has been surpassed by Duke.
Yeah, that would be nice. We'll see, man. They've got a lot of openings. I think, 27 guys now have said they're planning to go into the portal. So Florida State's got cap space. Now we'll see what they can do with it. Yeah,
of the names of the 27, I don't suppose you and I disagree about much. I think that we're probably just upset about 5, 6. I don't know where your head's at on that, but I don't love the look. I don't love what it means and what it represents. But in terms of the talent walking out the door, I'm not real pleased about, I'd say 5 of those guys, 4 of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in that ballpark. And even of those guys, there's probably only 1 or 2 that you feel like you can't get a similar replacement. I mean, I like Randy Pittman, but I think you can find a tight end that can get you 25 catches, in the portal. So, I don't really think there's not many guys that you don't feel like you could replace. I think Jabril Rawls is probably at the top of that list, just physically, his ability. There might be one or two other guys, but for the most part, this is the shuffling that goes on. I mean, this is just, and it's at every school. Now the numbers are higher at Florida State, but partly because they're shipping out a lot of guys that, that probably would be fine staying. I think of the 27 players, I haven't gone through the list and gotten the number, but my guess is a good majority of those are guys who are told, hey, if you want to stay, you're not going to make as much money as you were making last year, or you don't have a place to stay. We're replacing your position. So that inflates the number a little bit. And then some of these other guys are guys that, you're just going to be, doing the trading that all these other programs are doing too, because, everybody, that's what the portal has been really the last 2 or 3 years, is everybody trading backups to each other. And that's kind of what's happening. And Florida State's going to be doing the same as everybody else. Again, there's a few guys that you would like to keep, but I just think that that's probably the nature of the business. You're not probably prepared to pay guys what they think they could get on the open market.
No, and in some cases they can, and you wish them well, and they'll go make their money. In other cases, they're probably living in dreamland, and even if they're not, you couldn't afford to pay them because you have needs across your roster. I am curious. Tom and I were having a conversation in the first hour a little bit about the quandary they find themselves in, and this is the hard part with the head coach being in limbo, or seemingly certainly being in limbo after back-to-back losing seasons. Like, you'd like to get off this vicious treadmill where you're going out and trying to bring in, say, 20 players because you have to, and then if you do that, you're probably going to have to do it again next year, and then again the year after. But I don't know to what degree would Mike feel comfortable saying, like, I'm not spending $2 million or even $1 million or even $600,000 on, I don't know, a quarterback, a receiver, and somebody else. I need much more than that, and I'm willing to let it ride with a few of these young kids that we felt really good about, that we brought in, and maybe try to wean ourselves off of the sheer numbers that we seem to need year in and year out in mass out of the portal. I wonder to what degree he would feel comfortable doing that.
I honestly don't know who is. I mean, other than the programs that were rolling, there's only a few of them that were rolling when this whole thing started 5 years ago. Georgia, Oregon, Ohio State, that can really use the portal more as a supplement than doing major change. I think this is what the world is right now. I mean, Auburn signed Cam Coleman a couple of years ago, and he's in the portal. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, it's just, this is kind of, I just think this is going to be what the sport is until maybe something changes at some point, but I'm about ready to kind of giving up hope on that. And so, I don't know who is. I mean, because look, Florida's going to have to do this. Or is John Summerall coming to Florida saying, okay, we're going to build through high school recruiting and not go try to get 25, 30 guys out of the portal? No, he's going to do the same thing. And a lot of those guys are going to be 1-year rentals, and you're going to have to replace them again the next year. And I don't know that there's a way to get off of this merry-go-round that everybody's on. Maybe I'm wrong, but to me, it seems like this is what the sport is. And you've got to be better at it than other people. And that means get the money to get the players you really want, and then also be very good at evaluating the guys that maybe are a little bit under the radar. And so, but yeah, as far as like getting off this train, I don't know how you do it. I don't know if anybody can.
Yeah, I think there are varying degrees, and I think Florida State currently represents, because of their situation, a bit of an extreme, especially if this ends up going, say, over 30 players. But no, the larger point you're making is fair. I wonder, so with John Garrett coming in, I guess, what would you see his role? What do you understand his role to be in this process in terms of player acquisition?
I mean, the way it was explained to me, man, and I'm a little bit not dubious, but I just need to see it play out. But the way it's explained to me is, he is overseeing the front office. So he's going to oversee the talent acquisition part of this program. And that Mike Norvell is going to coach players, and he's going to coach the coaches, and he's got the coaching staff. that it's going to be kind of the way it works in a lot of NFL organizations, with the difference being, I don't think John Garrett is Mike Norvell's boss, and he's not hiring or firing the head coach. But I do think he's going to have say over the talent acquisition part of this process. Now, the reason I say I'm skeptical or dubious is I don't know exactly how far that power goes if they do disagree on something like that. I don't know. The way it's being explained to me is that, Mike Norvell's over the players. Once they're here, he's coaching the players. He and his staff are coaching the players. But again, that's kind of a departure from what we've ever seen. So I don't know if Mike Norvell says, I don't like that quarterback, or I don't like that offensive tackle, and Herb Hand says, I don't like that offensive tackle. I can't pretend to tell you how that plays out, but the way it's presented to me is John Garrett is over the talent part of the operation, the front office part of the operation. And so we just have to see how that works.
It's fascinating, Ira, because I wanted to know how we are assessing John Garrett. How am I to judge whether John Garrett's doing a good job? How long do I give him to do a good job, or whatever that looks like? Does he get 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? What does it mean to have a good GM in college football? It's like if they sign the 23rd ranked recruiting class next year, do we not say, oh, well, that's not Mike Norvell's fault, that's John Garrett's fault?
Well, I think there's two things that you have to work in concert there, and that's part of the reason. Again, I think that they didn't want to go strictly with somebody with an NFL background, and that was kind of the question a lot of us had during the process is, what do you and this was not just like us talking. I've got friends in the business who work in this space in college football.
Right.
Like, are they really going to hire just a straight NFL guy to be the GM? Because that guy's not going to understand college recruiting, high school recruiting, that whole process. It's a different world for them, and they would need a big learning curve there. So I do think part of the reason you get somebody who's been a college recruiter, worked in college offices, and that's what John Garrett has done primarily for the last several years, is they understand that space too. But yeah, the college coaches still have to be a big part of the recruiting process. So it's not as if he gets all the blame or all the credit for recruiting, because the head coach and the coaches are still recruiting as well. But I think I think they're trying to do two things at once. They're trying to help Mike Norvell and help this coaching staff get better talent in the program, to get somebody who's going to put together a front office staff that ostensibly is better at that and will be devoted to that, to get better players in place for the coaching staff to do their job. But at the same time, if it doesn't work out for Mike Norvell, the idea is that John Garrett and his staff, if they're doing a good job, they'll stay and you replace the head coach. And, now if they decide ultimately that the GM's not doing a good job, just like in the NFL, the president or CEO or whoever would say, well, it's the GM's fault. It's not the head coach's fault. So I think you're going to that model. It's just, this is a little unique because you're doing it midstream. You already have a head coach and a coaching staff. What Florida's trying to do, and again, Lane Kiffin apparently was not interested in doing it at Florida. But what Florida's trying to do is have a GM, have a head coach, and they're bringing them both in at the same time. Florida State's doing it this way because they didn't want to pay Mike Norvell $60 million.
How big is John Garrett's staff?
That's from what I understand, it's still to be determined. I think that they're still working through that. I don't know that it's 100% locked in. I do think, what I was heard from a non-FSU source, I was told that he's going to be bringing some people. He's expected to bring some people in from Duke. So I don't know how many the people that is. There were, I think, 4 different people that left FSU when he left to go to Duke that went with him. One of them is at a high-level position, 1 or 2 of them, and the next 2 are a little bit lower level. I don't know if he plans on trying to bring them back. I don't know if there's space for them, if they have to get rid of other people to create that space. I think that's all being worked out. But he already has. There's already been one hire in place. The guy that previously worked at Miami and South Carolina and a few other schools, but did not work for John Garrett. But I do think there's a chance. From what I was hearing, that they were going to try to bring some of the people in from Duke. But I don't know specifics about how exactly that works and how many people.
Yeah, the reason I asked that, A, I'm curious, and B, in the NFL, the way that the GM situation works is you have scouts, and we see these guys at practice, like you and I have seen NFL scouts everywhere. They'll report back. Hey, I saw, I'm in charge of the Southeast, and I went to these 17 colleges, and I know we need a left guard. By the way, these are the 3 that I highly recommend, and I've scouted them, and here are the scouts, and then the coaches look at it. But the GM has these people out there in the field looking for these players. So I was kind of curious in the case of Garrett, does he have those kinds of underlings reporting back to him to say, hey, I know we really need an upgrade at, defensive tackle. Have you talked to the kid at, whatever high school? Just kind of curious how that would work.
So FSU's kind of already had a somewhat of a process in that regard. I think it's going to get expanded.
It has to.
The last few years, John Garrett, that's what he did on the defensive side of the ball when he was here previously, on the offensive side of the ball when he was here previously. And Justin Krause, who's been on the staff for a while, does on the defensive side of the ball. When Garrett left, they brought in Rick Stockstill, former college head coach and former FSU great quarterback. And so that's what they do. Part of their job is scouting opponents, but the other half of their job is scouting the portal and making evaluations or recommendations to the coaching staff about players who they might be interested in. And the coaches made the decisions. I do think that there's going to be a bigger staff, a more comprehensive approach on that side, reporting up through John Garrett, and then less of a say from the coaching staff. Now, again, we all have to see how that works out, but that's the impression I get, is they're going to have a more robust scouting operation. And then, again, if things don't work out for Mike Norvell, then that's already in place with whoever you're going to hire as a head coach. I don't think it's going to be, if Mike Norvell gets pushed out after this coming season or midway through, whatever it is, I don't think they're going to start over on the scouting side. I think they're treating the scouting operation as a process to get that in place, no matter who the head coach is down the road.
Well, Gus Malzahn's got to be happy to hear he doesn't have to do any more recruiting. You know how much he loves to hit the trail. Brother, I'll talk to you later. Be well.
Thanks, Jeff. Yeah.
Take care. He's just got to be devastated. We'll come back, react to that. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
One man is dead following a shooting at an apartment complex in Chattahoochee. Friday night, SPD assisted the Chattahoochee Police Department with the shooting. The victim was taken to Gadsden Hospital, where he died from his injuries. CBD said in a social post that the incident occurred at Flint Garden Apartments. CBD located and arrested a suspect with help from Bainbridge Public Safety and the Decatur County Sheriff's Office. Trevante Cheeseman, 27 of Chattahoochee, was charged with first-degree homicide. Chattahoochee police are still actively working the incident. They will release more information once they have completed their investigation. Marlon Ball, principal at Gadsden County High School, has been reassigned with another principal set to take charge. He has been reassigned due to a personal matter, and they cannot comment on why or where he has been reassigned to. Pamela Jones, who previously worked as principal at Stewart Street Elementary School, is stepping in as a replacement. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. 72 this afternoon under partly cloudy skies, northwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies again tonight, lows dip down to about 33, high of 51 tomorrow. Mainly sunny skies. Ample sunshine and dry Wednesday and Thursday, mid-50s Wednesday, low 60s by Thursday. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Currently 64.
It's Christmas time, my yard's a mess, friends and family coming, oh what a stress.
Pick up the phone, the Lawn Johns are near, the Lawn Johns can help, no need to fear.
322-2567.
322-2567.
Lawn Johns, Lawn Johns. 322-2567. 322-2567.
No need to fear, the Lawn Johns are here.
Hey, Jeff, what's up, buddy? I was just thinking, I never tell you that when you grow up, one of the things that you'll miss are the games that you created with your friends in the neighborhood.
Oh, good days.
So I would have my buddy come over, and then we'd make up these games that were kind of like a hodgepodge of every game that you've ever played.
Kind of like the bikes we built.
Correct, yes. And it's a grand experiment. In the beginning, nobody knows how to play the game, and you argue about what the rules are going to be. And in the end, everybody knows how to play the game. By the end of that summer, you know the rules, the neighborhood know the rules, and you play that game like it's the greatest game ever played. But
And
they
you
don't
still try to break the rules, right?
oh, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But at the end, Eddie, you're never going to play it again, and you'll think about it the rest of your life.
And the best game you ever played was that game.
Never been a better one.
Hey, you want to have a Gordo Smash, Jeff?
I do. I'd like that.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Above and beyond, a lot of, I don't know, I suppose choices to go with here. I mean, we're ending the year. We've got these big games coming up, but of course the NFL playoffs on the horizon as well. I don't know how you want to go with it. I do want to say, as always, above and beyond VR.com. 727-253-5995. That number's on the screen. You can see that if you're watching. But more than that, after he plays the sounder, I'll tell you about the deals. Man alive, we got to go. We got to go.
Above and beyond. Above and beyond. Above and beyond.
Above
and beyond.
All right, look, which one are you going to highlight, Tommy? Which one do you want to look at here? We got the Dunedin Cottages. We got the Enchanted Inn. We've got the
Look at this.
Waterfront Coastal Bliss.
It would appear that a lot of them were sold. Last week, we had the listings for 4 nights for this week for New Year's.
Mhm.
New Year's Eve checkout Sunday, and the prices were unbelievable.
Yeah.
4 nights for, oh my God, under $600. And that sounds like
that can't be
a scripted drop-in of remarking how exceptional that is. $532 for 4 nights. $532, I say again, for 4 nights on the water, Clearwater
With the
Beach.
tiki bar, boat dock, and pool?
Right, yeah.
Oh, whoa, look at that. Look at us. And that pool is heated, I'll have you know. Look where you are. Glorious. Yeah, beaches right there behind you. You got the, it doesn't suck. We have talked about this a lot. Our friends at Above and Beyond VR.com. They're Knowles. They're also real estate agents. If you want to buy any of these places or somewhere around there, I'm sure they can steer you in the right direction. But if you just want to stay at the Enchanted Inn, you can. You can stay at one of over 30 properties, 18 of which have pools, and most of those are heated. This is the time of year. Make sure you type in JCS. Hey,
That's
show them.
wild.
Yeah, that's crazy. Crazy cheap. 10% off for typing in JCS. 4 nights. Oh, I'm going to type in JCS and give them a call.
532.
It's a little 532. We're going to do it. Also, Tom, I would tell you that there's good eats around there. Good eats.
Yeah, that's right.
You and I enjoyed ourselves.
We had the King's
there.
Pizza.
We did. And that was just one of many nice places.
But they had really good wrap. Remember? I got the wrap, and it was very, very good.
I really, above and beyond VR.com. And then are you going to pick somebody?
Oh, man. Drake May.
What a year. He's an MVP candidate, and it's for real.
So he threw for 5 touchdowns yesterday. His quarterback rating was 157. It was just shy of perfect.
Yeah, it's funny. Every year, quarterbacks come out in the draft. Usually takes a couple of years for us to figure it out. You're like, all right, well, which of these guys? How happy are they in New England right now? My Lord. They've got a kid who's thrown for over 4,200 yards and has a 30-plus touchdowns now and completing over 70% of his passes. I mean, that's rather ridiculous. I will say, and this is the one thing about New England as we get towards the end of the year here. It's still hard to believe they are one of the Las Vegas Raiders' only wins. They have 2 wins. One of them is over New England. That's crazy. It was the first game of the year. The other losses, one to Buffalo and one to the Steelers. All the rest are wins, of course. But what I would say is, as it turned out, you never know this at the time, but now we have enough data points. It's not even close. They had the easiest schedule in all of the National Football League. And when you go through the litany of games, you're like, okay, Saints, Titans, Browns, Falcons, Bucks, who are now bad. Jets, Bengals, Giants. Come on.
Ooh, man.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of, come on now. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy.
Jimbo.
We know.
I see you,
By the way, their
Jimbo.
final game of the year is against the Dolphins. You're like, come on, buddy.
I should know that because I do have their defense in my league, and they're always a must start. Oh, that's a great matchup.
Oh,
that's a great
every
matchup.
week is a good matchup when you're
Candy.
playing the Giants, the Jets, the Dolphins, the Saints, the Titans, the Browns, the Falcons. Those are all real games. Yes, there's a lot there. Everybody gets their fair share, but
It's a good season to do that.
Yeah, and to have your quarterback grow up in a hurry and win 13 games and recapture the division. Yeah, so we'll go that route. That's fair enough. Yeah, that's your above and beyond. I'll agree with you. It's a good one. I would also project a robust number for Stafford when he gets to play either the Bucs or the Carolina Panthers in the playoffs. I'll project him as our future above and beyond candidate, especially if it's against the Bucs. Who was kind enough? I am not in the chat.
Noel Kev.
What's up, Noel Kev?
Thank you for the $5 contribution. And he says he wants to submit Derrick Henry 4 touchdowns.
It's a fair submission. You know, you think back to Derrick Henry going into the league. Man, I mean, could you have known he was going to finish in the top 10, top 5 all time?
Only because of the photo of him standing next to Mark Ingram did you think that there was a shot.
Well, I just thought he looked
crazy.
You know, a lot of times your giant running backs don't always project.
Yeah, you get 2 or 3 years out of them, and they're great. Like Brandon Jacobs. For a stretch, Brandon Jacobs was huge and unstoppable.
Yeah, and you love those guys almost as specialty backs. You just don't expect him. But then again, most of the Giants that we've ever seen play the position, they don't run 21 miles per hour at 240 pounds. I just would never want to tackle that man. It's just absurd. You'll have to read that one as well.
Troy Knoll, member for 10 months now at Warchant on the video side of it, and he just says, Happy New Year. That was you get a perk every month with posts if you're a member for 1 and 2 and 3, 10 months. So thank you, Troy Knoll.
Yeah, absolutely. The only other, we've got a legit 5 coaches. I think you and I are going to talk about that next, but we have like a legit 5 coaches that could win Coach of the Year in the NFL. This has been a fun season, and it seemed to have culminated last night with the way that game played out between San Francisco and Chicago. I've just been riveted by. So obviously our Bucs are in free fall, and it's what it is. But looking around the league and seeing a lot of good young players emerge and good young coaches get opportunities and see this turn around as quickly as it did for franchises like the Bears. And to see now how quickly, I mean, we don't like him, but you got to respect the hell out of what Sean Payton's done.
Yeah.
I mean, they got it. I mean, they're going to be the 1 seed.
He and Mike McCarthy had the same career until this year. This has been something different for him.
Yeah. You got to give a lot of credit, but look, Shanahan's always been a good coach. He's done a great job navigating the injuries in San Francisco. They're freaking 12-4 and they've won 6 straight. They're dangerous. The Rams, the Seahawks, I think you can look at Chicago, as I already said, in the Bears. What they've done is incredible. And to win the division?
Most of the spots of the playoffs are already decided. Obviously, Pittsburgh, Baltimore is a game that the NFL was really hoping it would get this week.
They get it.
And the Bucs and Panthers also have.
They don't care about that one.
No. But somebody's going home and somebody's playing on.
Yeah.
Other than that, you have most of these matchups kind of set. So right now, there are some differences, obviously, for
seeding can change in the AFC a little bit. Although I do think the 3 teams that can change the seeding are going to win. They're hosting games they should win.
So New England Buffalo would be a matchup on Wild Card Weekend, 2-7. The 3-6 right now would be Jacksonville and Chargers, which Jacksonville just blew them out not that long ago.
They did.
Your 4-5 is your Pittsburgh Baltimore winner hosting the Texans. If it's Baltimore, you got yourself a 20-13 war. And in the NFC, your matchups right now are Bears-Packers, Eagles, and Rams. And at this present moment, again, Panthers-Tampa winner hosting San Francisco. That's if it ended today. That's how it would line up.
It's fascinating because the Rams will win tonight.
Yes.
Against Atlanta. Also, how different would we view that game? The Bucs beat San Francisco earlier this year, and there's no chance you or I think they'd come close against San Francisco in a rematch.
No, sir. Our defense was good at that point.
Yeah, they'll get blown out if they play either one of those two teams. You're really just trying to win the division so you can say you won the division again. You know damn well there ain't. Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No.
Take the division if it's there.
Oh, I'm petty enough to wear that 5 straight NFC South champion shirt.
2 of which were earned with sub 500 records.
I'll wear it maybe 5 times. I'll wear it for sure. Final hour forthcoming. Stay with Jeff Cameron Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio Warchant.